All right, welcome to class 2 and 3 where you're going to work on the transformation. So you're actually going to work on taking the person you drew into a cartoon character in the style you chose. So for example, again, if I was going to draw my mom, I would draw them as a Boondocks character. So today you're actually working on how to do that. So there's two ways I recommend trying. Method 1 is to draw the real person. So I could draw my mom. Again, it's roughly and then you start turning their features into the style of cartoon character you chose. So if I was drawing my mom as a Boondocks character, I could, have her eyes roughly sketched out and then start erasing her eyes and put eyes that are more like the Boondocks style in their place. And you'll do that to all the characteristics until you kind of get something and then you say, okay, well, I need to go a little bit back towards her features in this one, or that's not cartoon-like enough yet, and you move. So you kind of just shift with what you're doing. So again, method 1 is to draw the real people first and then turn their features into the style of cartoon that you chose. So here's an example here of method 1. So I drew these 3 people roughly from a realistic picture that I saw. And then I started erasing and actually just drew it really light and drew on top of it and then just erased the really light lines after I liked what I saw. So I looked at Robert DeJesus's style, and you can see some of the characteristics in this style that I did, where you can see those rough, quick lines for where shading would typically be. Again, you can see where you would shade, you put those strong lines. For the Sherpa jacket, I just threw in some quick shading, some lines in here. I took some eyes from some of the examples that I saw of his work. Again, we're not copying it, we're just emulating his style or whatever style you chose. So here's an example of method 1. So I can still tell who the people are, but I did it in a way that now it looks like a cartoon version of them in his style. So those are really good things to look at, and make sure you're really careful. Like Robert DeJesus sometimes doesn't draw a lot of teeth. It's like I didn't even draw teeth on this person. So kind of keep that in mind. Really, really study the characteristics of the cartoon that you're doing. All right, let's talk about method 2. You're going to draw a cartoon character from the style you chose, then start changing their characteristics, again, like their eyes, nose, mouth, into the more realistic person, their characteristics. So here's an example. This is a cartoon that I follow on Instagram. I love these artists, and this was a cartoon they put out, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this cartoon style. So what I did was I found this image right here because I was pregnant at the time. I thought it was perfect posing and stuff like that to help give me an idea. So I took and just roughly sketched out this. Then I lightly started changing features. So my arms are down around our dog. So I added our 3 dogs in there. My eyes aren't open, they're closed. My hair is different. I have like our blanket, like I said, our 3 dogs. My husband is different than the man that you see in the original cartoon. I put clothes on that he would wear. And this was when COVID kind of first started. And I put toilet paper and Clorox wipes because those were like really hard to come by at the time. So again, I just changed it. So it's similar in the style, but it's the real people of who I was doing for this, like myself, my husband, my baby, and then our 3 dogs. So that would be method 2. And I'm not saying that one method works better than the other. Art's amazing because there's a million ways to do whatever you want to do, and the whole goal is just to get the end result that you want. So try method 1. If it doesn't work, try method 2, or vice versa. And if something else just strikes you, like I'm just going to go straight into it, just go straight into it, right? Whatever you think is going to work best for you, make sure you do that. But again, this is not your final piece yet. These are just ideas. Like you're working on the transformation. How are you going to do this? Make your mistakes here. Now, when we get to the next class, I'm going to jump right down into class 4 because you're going to practice with the media. So you're going to finish your work from class 2 and 3, which is making sure that you understand how you're going to create your person as a cartoon character. And then you're just going to practice with your media. So for class 4, just remember whatever media that you're going to use, practice on your sketches. Make sure it looks good. Like for this cartoon right here, you can see it's not just outline a shirt, fill it in orange. There's like 3 different values of orange. So one thing that I would need to do is make sure, for example, if I was doing her shirt, this lightest yellow color, I would color, if I'm using colored pencils, her whole shirt that light color first. And then I would go back over with the orange and then this darker color so that I would really get all of those values, but they're layered on top of each other, so that it's not just doesn't look like a separate entity. Same thing with his pants. You see how his pants are light gray, medium gray, and dark gray. What I would do is I would take that light gray and color all of his pants in light gray, not just that one section. Then I would go back in with a darker gray or just add more layers and go over the parts that I wanted to be darker. And then the same thing with the even darker parts, more layers or darker gray to get those darker pieces. So the layering is really important. I can achieve that with crayon, just the crazy art crayons that my daughter has. You can get really good blending with. So it's just about experimenting and practice with the media so that you can be happy with the end result of what you're looking for. So make sure you practice that. So this video was for class 2 and 3, and then for class 4, since you're practicing with the media. I will see you back for class 5. Good luck.